Last year, Insta360 flew me out on this wild, action-packed trip. This year, they invited me again, and I somehow convinced them to let me bring the whole family. That's me, my wife Raya, our 2.5-year-old Neo, and Navi, who is only 2 months old. I don't know what we were thinking. If you want to see our full week of adventures, we've uploaded that on our couples channel. This video is sponsored by Insta360, and I'm taking you behind the scenes, showing you exactly how I shot some of our most creative moments. I'll walk you through simple tricks that you can use to level up your own filming, plus how easy and affordable it is with the new Insta360 X4 Air. I'll also show you how it really compares to the X5 and which one I'd actually recommend. And if you're watching this when I upload, and if you're quick, Insta360 have an unbelievable Black Friday sale going on. I've linked it below. Stick around until the end to find out more. So a big thing I wanted to do in this video was emphasize how 360 cameras can be such a creative addition to your travel content or lifestyle content or whatever you're shooting. And with the new Insta360 X4 Air, this is like a perfect camera for someone that hasn't shot 360 before, that's just starting out. Obviously cameras all over the board are getting better and better. I shoot a lot of my vlogs on my iPhone now, but for a starter 360 camera, it's got a ton of amazing features which I'll be talking about throughout the video. But I'll let you decide as you're watching all the footage today what you think. I think it's pretty epic. Our first stop was the ancient ruins of Hajaim. I got some low angle follow shots of Neo running into the site, and since drones were not allowed, the 3-meter pole became my aerial camera. See, this is interesting, right? No drones, but I do have a 3-meter long selfie stick, which you can get some pretty drone looking shots with this. I lifted it high above us for super wide overhead shots of the temple, basically getting low drone style views without needing a drone. This is me with my iPhone vlogging. Obviously, I vlog a lot on my iPhone, but having a lightweight 360 camera for some creative angles is pretty amazing as well. Check out the aerial view of this place. I then used it for sweeping shots across the stones and archways, capturing angles you could never get with a normal camera. From there, we headed to the Blue Grotto. It was a little boat trip. We went out to see these amazing caves. And this is where I was reminded why I like using 360 cameras so much. Basically, as soon as we got in the boat pulled away immediately, and I was still fumbling to get Neo's life jacket on. With a regular camera, I would have missed everything, but instead, I had the X4 Air rolling the entire time while both hands were busy, and then later in editing, I could reframe the shot however I wanted. I got some beautiful hyperlapse style sequences of the cliffs, super wide shots that look like a drone flying alongside the boat, and close vlogging moments just by extending or shrinking the pole. I also could capture some moments of Neo noticing things along the coastline without interrupting the moment or worrying about framing. At the viewpoint above the grotto, shooting with a 360 camera also solved another problem. As we took a selfie in front of the archway, we couldn't fit it all in, we weren't at the right angle, but then extending our selfie stick and having the 360 camera overhead captured the whole scene perfectly. So later in the trip, I went kayaking, which is usually one of the hardest things to film with a regular camera. You either have to stop paddling to vlog, or everything becomes a one locked off shot where you've mounted the camera at the front, which I did do for comparison with the Ace Pro 2.
Oi, that's mental! That's mental! Flippin' heck, that was sketchy. I thought I was done. I'm actually shaking. Right, the one shot I'd really love to get on this little kayak adventure is a vertical bird's eye shot of me paddling, and then also an opposite underwater shot from directly below the kayak with this waterproof housing. So at some point, if it's still enough and the sun is illuminating the seabed, I feel like I've got to try it. Yeah, right, I've got my X4 Air. I'm going to throw it up.
But I then managed to balance a 3-meter selfie stick while paddling, capturing a top-down bird's eye view and different angles looking back at me. Also, with the waterproof housing, it let me dip the camera under the kayak for underwater sweeps and bring it straight back out for a fun transition. I also did some POV shots of me paddling with the camera in my mouth, but that could have also been mounted on a chest mount as well. I've taken the X4 Air back out the dive housing. Gonna do some POV shots now. Let's try this. If you don't have a mount, stick it in your mouth. That's what I always say.
Woo!
The next day, we took a ferry over to Gozo. On the ferry, I grabbed some shots looking back at me while the pole was fully extended. Then whilst we headed to the Citadel, I clipped the X4 Air to Neo's buggy in 3 different positions. I've set up the X4 Air on a clamp on Neo's buggy. It's going to be a fun perspective of our day today. Oh, wow. Yeah, this is cool. Neo, look! One was a low angle shot on the side of the buggy, and the other one was directly in the front looking back at him and capturing his reactions, which were priceless. I also mounted it over his shoulder later on, which gave this really fun perspective of a toddler POV. These were some of my favourite shots of the whole trip because it really felt like seeing the world through his eyes. We also played around with some spin shots, and even though the bullet time feature is not built into the X4 Air, we still created a similar feel by spinning the pole around us at different viewpoints, and I shot at 8K 30 and 6K 60 to see which one worked best. We visited the Basilica at the top of the hill, this beautiful church, where again I got some running follow shots of Neo and another bullet time moment with Raya. I'm having a lot of fun with the X4 Air. I put it on my 3-meter selfie stick. I'm gonna chase Neo around. I've realized I'm trying to get some shots that I can cut together for some of my reels and stuff. So I'm gonna do one where I'm chasing Neo basically through different settings and different scenes throughout the week. I'm shooting most of my stuff 8K 30 with HDR on as well, just to make those shadows pop. I'll try both. I'll try a test of both, but yeah, it's been amazing. I think this combined with the fold up selfie stick is so good, so lightweight and portable. I have brought the bigger selfie stick, the 3-meter one, for a lot of the shots I'm getting, but it's nice to have a lightweight setup for sure. Also, do you know what I'm gonna play around with? For those that are very new to 360 cameras that are watching, you can do this single lens mode where you don't have to do any editing and you're essentially using it as a wide angle action cam. Right, so I've got it at normal 8K. Right, if I switch now, Instaframe. Oh yeah, this is the one. This is actually the better one. So yeah, you can shoot video single lens. So that just basically turns it into a 16:9 shot. You may be able to do, oh yeah, back or front. You may be able to do vertical as well. Oh, here we go, ratio. So you can switch it to vertical. And then that is the video that it spits out. But that's a little bit restrictive, right? Because you might want to reframe it afterwards. So the new mode that it came out with is Instaframe. So this kicks out a 360 video and a flat video 1080. Oh, that's so cool. This is basically a flat video that I can drop straight in my timeline, or you can shoot vertical, render that out, drop it straight into your phone, post it on socials. So it's super convenient. I think this mode was first brought on for the X5, but yeah, definitely a convenient mode if you are a first-time user of a 360 camera, because most people I speak to that don't know how to use 360 cameras are intimidated by the post work. You have to reframe it and have an app and all that kind of stuff. They kind of, with your phone or a normal camera, you're shooting and then the footage is just ready to go. And that is what this mode enables. But it also means that if you want to reframe the shot, because maybe I wasn't in shot. Oh, this is pretty amazing at keeping me in shot, to be honest. Wow. It actually just is tracking my face, so. Wow, don't really know how to describe this, but look. I'm moving the camera all over the place, right? I'm moving it all over the place. And look, I'm moving it down here. I'm facing the lens away from me. And it is still just tracking onto my face. And after that, we went to Duerya Bay at sunset. I shot some more low angle follow shots of Neo, some fun family moments, low light shots, and got a few fun clips of Neo experimenting with holding the camera himself. The low light here was a clear reminder that this is where the X5 has a big advantage. The next day in Valletta, I played around with the long pole again. I got some huge wide walking shots through the streets, sweeping shots across the upper Baraka Gardens, and another spin shot with the X5 to compare the two cameras. So obviously the big difference between shooting 360 versus shooting with a locked off regular camera is I have to pick the exact angle that I'm holding the camera, what I'm looking at, and that is baked in, that's like done. I can't suddenly in post like switch your camera around and look behind me. So yeah, the big difference is like the amount of different shots you can get, and you don't have to worry about where you're pointing the camera, especially somewhere beautiful like this. Where do I point it at? Like, I haven't even looked behind me yet. Look, boom, cathedral, and then look up there. Maybe I want to look over there, maybe I want to look over here.
I guess it'd be really cool if you're recording obviously what you're seeing and your reactions. It's like something, if you're somewhere and there's something exciting happening and you're like, whoa, you have a big reaction. It's like you capture your reaction and the clip, so you can almost flip between the two.
Yeah,
That's
yeah,
cool.
for sure. Right, we've been doing this like series of clips that we want to cut into a reel of us like doing the bullet time thing where we're swinging the camera around. Technically, the X4 Air doesn't have specifically the same bullet time mode that you can flip into to do the super slow mode, but it does do 6K spherical video at 50 frames a second. So I'll shoot a bit of that, but then also I did bring the X5 where you can shoot 4K at 120 frames a second and get yeah, even double as slow as that, so like 4 times slower than real life. Honestly, when you're just in a static location like this and there's not much movement happening, I don't think there's necessarily a point to do super slow-mo, but when there's a bunch of things happening like water splashing and flames and things falling down, that's where you get the most epic bullet time shots. But I think we'll have a really nice reel of us like in different locations, snapping from location to location. So we're gonna shoot one here. I'll set the camera up so you can see behind the scenes. So I've been shooting 8K 30, I'm going to switch to 6K, 50 frames. I haven't checked those bullet times out yet, but the ideal conditions are brighter sunlight, so it might not look incredible, but we're in a pretty incredible location. I filmed Neo running through the streets and later compared the X4 Air and X5 as it turned to dusk. I'm going to do some comparisons now between the X5 and the low light capability and the X4 Air that doesn't have pure video mode, so the low light capability is not as good. A lot of people don't need that. Again, maybe at the end of the video I'll kind of summarize my thoughts on whether you should go for an X5 or X4 Air, depending on what you're shooting. But this is the main thing I've noticed, is the lack of pure video mode. So I'm going to do a little comparison test now. Right, I'm going to turn these on, switch the X5 to pure video, and then let's have a look. Okay, we've got pure video rolling the X5 and regular video on the X4 Air. Let's have a little look. Might need to clean this lens a little bit actually. I'm going to check these out in front of the this big cathedral first. I think pure video doesn't run with the voice enhancement, whereas I think regular 8K 30 on the X4 Air does have the audio voice enhancement mode. But yeah, obviously this is the difference. X5 superior in low light. Let's go and find Raya and Neo and Navi. I originally was going to do more of a comparison between the X4 Air and X5, but the reality is, in bright sunlight, there's not going to be a noticeable difference in my opinion. It's just times like this, the lack of bullet time mode. There might be a couple of other modes that the X4 Air doesn't have. I was going to try and mount these cameras next to each other originally to try and get a perfect side-by-side comparison, but it was a bit complicated. I didn't have the right mount. Got this little clamp on the buggy that I was using yesterday. Just got a little close-up kind of table shot of us eating ice cream. Can I taste some of this, Neo? Neo, which one's your favourite? The chocolate? This one's your favourite one? Thank you. On our final day, we boarded basically a pirate ship. The sea was rough, but we got some big establishing shots of us sailing across the coastline. And then I used the X4 Air for diving shots with the underwater housing, again with the 30 frames at 8K and some slow-mo 60 frames at 6K. The underwater clips looked really good. So I did 2 different settings. I did 8K 30 and I also switched to 6K 50, but I had to open the case to change the settings, and I think a tiny droplet of water got inside the housing, so I don't know how the shot turned out, but I wanted to experiment a bit with the slow-mo. And it became a theme across the whole trip that instead of just holding a regular camera close to my face like normal vlogging, and narrating everything, shooting B-roll from our perspective. Shooting a 360 camera let us capture us in that location. Big wide scenes where you can really feel the place we're in. The family dance moments on the deck of the boat was my highlight of that day. And then finally back at the hotel, I used the underwater housing again, this time in the hot tub and swimming pool. Neo is a nutter in the jacuzzi, check this out. Neo, jump to me. I'm gonna put the waterproof housing in the jacuzzi and Neo's gonna jump into me. I placed the camera underwater on the bottom of the tub and got some crazy underneath view of Neo jumping in and swimming around. There's some final shots I wanted to experiment with the X4 Air. Obviously yesterday we were out in the sea. The conditions were pretty good, but it was quite choppy and I only had like 15 minutes to do some snorkeling because I'm trying to juggle the kids. So I'm gonna try and see what this looks like in a perfectly clear swimming pool. Let's see if we can do some swimming stuff with Neo. Should we go in, Neo? What I'm hoping with this weighted, I don't know what this weighted thing's for, but I'm gonna try and have it so it can sit on the bottom of the pool and then we can kind of swim over. That's what I'm hoping. These are angles I've never captured before because I've always filmed him from above the water. The underwater perspective made those moments so much more unique and fun. So this whole trip has shown me why 360 cameras are now an essential filmmaker's tool. For hands-free moments, easy reframing, creative angles, super wide underwater shots, top-down shots, toddler POV, wide views of family moments, drone-style perspectives without needing a drone. It's let me be fully present with my family and still come away with some of the most creative footage I've ever captured on a trip like this. So after using the X4 Air for a full week in Malta and pushing it into pretty much every scenario possible, I feel like I have a pretty good sense of who this camera is for. It's lightweight, easy to use, and removes so much of the friction that normally stops you getting creative shots. If you are new to 360 filming or just want something simple and super portable for travel, family moments, or certain action sports where weight really matters, this guy makes a lot of sense. It's very affordable compared to other 360 options, and it still delivers those wide immersive shots that would normally take a drone or a tripod setup. After this week though, I still personally lean towards the X5 as my main 360 camera. The larger sensor gives noticeably better dynamic range and low light performance, which made a big difference when we were filming around sunset or in darker streets. The overall image quality is higher, the colors feel richer, and having the built-in bullet time mode and high frame rates is a big plus for me. The X5 is more expensive and bigger, but for my style of shooting, I'd spend the extra money for the quality. If your priority is portability, low cost, and something that you can throw in your pocket and use without thinking, the X4 Air is awesome. If you want the best possible image quality from a 360 device and you film a lot at night, in golden hour, or you want the full creative feature set, the X5 is worth it. And if after watching this video, you're considering picking one up, there's a really good deal running right now. Use the link below to save up to $200. You can get 15% off the X5, which is up to $100 off, plus a free 1 year, 1 terabyte Insta360 cloud subscription worth another $100. This is the biggest price drop they have ever done, and it runs through until the 26th of December. Also, the first 10 people who use my link to pick up an X5 will get a free X5 double lens replacement kit, which adds another $45 of value on top of everything else. Thanks again to Insta360 and Visit Malta for such an epic trip. And thanks for watching. I hope this gave you some useful ideas and inspired you to try some creative angles of your own. I'll see you in the next video.